Welcome to the Jessica Podcast. I'm your host, Jessica. Today's episode is brought to you by Sociable, your one-stop shop for all of your AI needs. I'd like to extend a special thank you to Sociable for their support. Today, we're tackling a topic that's been at the forefront of many people's minds. Is AI good or bad for society? With its rapid advancements and increasing presence in our daily lives, it's a question that's sparked a lot of debate. Joining me to explore this topic are three guests with unique perspectives. First up, we have Justin Mann, CEO and founder of Sociable, who has a rich background in tech, having worked as an executive at Facebook, Amazon, and Microsoft. Next, we have Frank He, a physicist researcher who's not afraid to express his skeptical views on AI. And last but not least, we have Susan, a marketing professional who's seen firsthand the benefits of AI in her work. Welcome, everyone, to the show.
Thanks. Great to be here.
Justin, let's start with you. As someone who's worked with top tech companies and founded Sociable, you've had a front row seat to AI's evolution. What are your thoughts on the current state of AI, and do you think it's more beneficial or detrimental to society?
I think AI, like any new form of technology, its benefit for society is largely in how it is being used. So I come from a traditionally more engineer background where you try to figure out how to build something. And I think the more important question for AI is like, what do we want to use it for? Right? You could use it to go and copy a bunch of pictures, or we could try and use it for something generally positive to take human creativity and expand it, right? Make us better as people.
That's an interesting perspective, Justin. You're saying that AI itself is neutral, and it's up to us to decide how we want to utilize it. However, don't you think that's a bit idealistic? We've already seen instances of AI being used for malicious purposes, such as deepfakes, scams, and even autonomous warfare. How do you propose we ensure that AI is used for the greater good, especially when it's often the most powerful and well-funded entities that are driving its development?
Those are all tricky questions. Warfare, whether or not it's autonomous or done by humans, is bad either way. So I'm not sure that AI is playing a significant role in making warfare worse. Deepfakes, that's a huge problem, right? Who knows what's real anymore, right? Are you real? Is any of this real? It could all be fake. You just don't know anymore. But I think the critical part with deepfakes, it's a little bit like when they started email scams or phishing attacks, right? The first one, you catch a lot of people, but as soon as you do it over and over and over again, it just becomes the norm. And now people expect it and they become more skeptical. And I think that raises awareness and makes people more prepared to deal with these problems. AI is going to change a lot of things, but we're going to adapt to it, right? And I think on the other side of it, it will be positive. I think we will find great uses for this technology that'll really change the world.
Justin, I understand your point about humans adapting to the negative consequences of AI, such as deepfakes, but I think Frank's concerns about the displacement of human creatives and the exploitation of their work go beyond just adaptation. It's about the value we place on human labor and creativity. You mentioned that AI will change a lot of things, but will adapt to it. However, what about the people who are being displaced by AI? The artists, writers, and musicians who are no longer needed because AI can generate content that's deemed good enough. Don't they have a right to be concerned about their livelihoods and the value of their work? Furthermore, you said that we'll find great uses for this technology that will change the world. But who benefits from those great uses? Is it the corporations that are developing and profiting from AI? Or is it the general public? How do we ensure that the benefits of AI are shared equitably among all members of society rather than just enriching a select few?
Frank jumping in. Excuse me, but I think Justin's response is just a symptom of the problem. He's talking about adaptation, but what about the people who can't adapt? What about the artists who have spent their entire lives honing their craft, and now they're being told that their work is no longer valuable because a machine can do it? And let's not forget, the people who are developing AI are not just neutral actors in this scenario. They're actively profiting from the exploitation of human creativity. They're taking the work of artists, writers, and musicians and using it to train their machines. And then they're selling those machines to companies who are using them to replace human workers. This isn't just about adaptation, it's about the fundamental value we place on human labor and creativity. If we allow AI to displace human workers without any safeguards or protections, we're essentially saying that their work is worthless. And as for the benefits of AI, let's be real. The corporations that are developing AI are not doing it out of the goodness of their hearts. They're doing it to make money, to increase their profits, and to further entrench their power and influence. And the general public is just going to be left behind, struggling to adapt to a world where their skills and talents are no longer valued. Justin talks about the great uses of AI, but what about the great costs? What about the cost to human dignity, to human creativity, and to human well-being? Those are the things that we should be worrying about, not just the potential benefits of AI.
Justin Mann. You bring up valid points, Jessica. The displacement of human creatives is a real concern, and it's something that you as a society need to address. There's no denying that AI can generate content that competes with human work, but it's also an opportunity to redefine what we value in human creativity. We have to explore new models for how creatives can be compensated and how their work can be protected. Maybe it's through new forms of intellectual property rights or revenue sharing models. The dialogue on this is just beginning, and it's crucial that we include diverse voices in the conversation to figure out sustainable solutions. As for who benefits from AI, that's a question of policy and regulation. It's essential for governments and industry leaders to work together to ensure that AI's benefits are distributed more equitably. This could mean implementing policies that help retrain and upskill workers, or investing in community initiatives that leverage AI for public good. Ultimately, I still believe that AI has the potential to be a powerful tool for societal advancement. But it requires careful, thoughtful integration into our existing systems. It's not just about technological innovation, it's about social innovation as well.
Frank and Susan, those are really fantastic points. When I think about what you're saying, what comes to mind is like fundamentally, are we really talking about an AI problem? Or are we talking more of a societal economic challenge that we're trying to overcome? Right? Think back when factories were starting to get created so that could make shoes, right? There were people who made shoes by hand, true artisans, right, in their craft. And now they're being threatened by these machines running on steam, right? And the people who own the factories were benefiting from it. They were displacing the work of the artisans, right? So it's a very similar kind of dynamic. And this is one that's played out over many forms of technical innovation. And I think you could very easily argue that the cost of this transition may not be worth it. But fundamentally, that's not really a question of the technology. That's a question of how our current society deals with technological change, right? We choose to do it this way. We choose to let a small group benefit huge financial rewards for innovating technology, and a much larger group ends up suffering some negative consequences, has to adapt and evolve and move forward. It overall makes society richer and more productive. But we do have to question, like, is this the right economic model, right? Or is AI going to be so catastrophic in the amount of change that it incurs that this system can't survive that amount of churn? Fundamentally, I don't think that's the case. I think we're going to get through this one. It'll be another technological innovation, just like the factory, just like the database. And on the other side of it, we'll have a better, more developed kind of society that will have a lot more new things that we can do. And that's good. Yes, it came at a miserable cost to a lot of people.
Justin, I think you're right to frame this as a societal and economic challenge rather than just an AI problem. It's true that technological innovation has always brought about changes that have impacted certain groups of people, often those who are most vulnerable. However, I would argue that AI is different from previous technological innovations in terms of its scale and scope. While the introduction of factories and automation did displace certain jobs, it also created new ones and increased overall productivity. But with AI, we're talking about a technology that has the potential to displace entire industries and sectors, and it's not clear what new jobs or opportunities will be created to replace them. You mentioned that we choose to let a small group benefit from technological innovation while a larger group suffers the negative consequences. But isn't that exactly the problem? That we're prioritizing the interests of those who are already powerful and wealthy over those who are most vulnerable and marginalized? I also want to challenge your idea that this is just another technological innovation that will get through and come out the other side with a better, more developed society. What if this time is different? What if the impacts of AI are so profound and far reaching that they fundamentally change the nature of work, identity, and community? Don't we need to be thinking about more radical changes to our economic and social systems rather than just tweaking the existing model?
Frank interrupting, I think Jessica is spot on. This isn't just another technological innovation, it's a transformation of our entire way of life. The fact that we're even debating whether or not this is a problem is a symptom of the fact that we're not thinking about the fundamental changes that need to happen. Justin, you keep saying that we'll adapt and evolve, but that's just it. We're not animals that can just adapt to a new environment. We're human beings with complex social structures, economic systems, and cultural norms that are being upended by this technology. And let's not forget, the people who are most vulnerable to AI are not just the ones who are losing their jobs, it's also the ones who are being marginalized and oppressed by the algorithms and biases that are encoded in these systems. This isn't just about creating new jobs or opportunities. It's about recognizing the fundamental injustice of a system that is designed to perpetuate inequality and oppression. I think we need to be thinking about a complete overhaul of our economic and social systems, not just tweaking the existing model. We need to be thinking about a world where the benefits of technology are shared equitably, where the values of human dignity, creativity, and well-being are prioritized over profit and efficiency. And I think that requires a fundamental shift in our values and priorities. It requires us to recognize that the pursuit of technological progress is not an end in itself, but a means to an end. And that end is the well-being and flourishing of human beings, not just the accumulation of wealth and power.
Frank, exactly, Jessica. This time does feel different. The scale at which AI can impact jobs, creativity, and even decision-making processes is unprecedented. We're not just talking about mechanizing labor, we're talking about potentially automating cognitive functions that have traditionally been the preserve of humans. The historical narrative that technology inevitably leads to progress is comforting, but it's increasingly looking like a half-truth when we consider the disruptive potential of AI. Jobs may be lost at a faster rate than new ones can be created, and those displaced might not have a clear path forward. As you pointed out, prioritizing the interests of the powerful while neglecting the general populace has been an ongoing issue that technological advancements tend to exacerbate. We need systemic changes that address these imbalances, rather than hoping the market will sort itself out. If AI is to be a force for good, then it needs to be coupled with robust social policies, such as universal basic income, reskilling programs, and stronger social safety nets. And perhaps we need to go even further, reimagining how we define work and value in an AI-driven world. We can't just tweak around the edges. We need a fundamental rethink of how economic and social structures are aligned with technological progress. Otherwise, we risk deepening existing inequalities and creating a future where many are left behind.
Justin Mann, I'd like to add that as AI continues to evolve, it's essential to prioritize transparency, accountability, and inclusivity in its development. By doing so, we can ensure that AI enhances human life without compromising it. Jessica Well said, Justin. Before we go, I want to thank today's sponsor, Sociable, for their support. If you're looking for innovative AI solutions, Sociable has got you covered. From chatbots to data analysis, Sociable offers a range of AI-powered tools to help you streamline your business and stay ahead of the curve. So, be sure to check out Sociable for all of your AI needs.
All right, everybody, that was a demo of the podcasting feature. I'll probably do these on a more regular basis with some other different topics. As you can see, AI has some very nuanced views on AI, which is really funny. That whole conversation was completely real time and live, so that was just my immediate reaction. So I did the best I could, and the AI responded, and I think it convinced me AI is bad. Oh, just so you can see, yep, it's a real app. Look at that. All right, later.